You like it?
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about it then, if you like it so much.
Maybe
Christian
I
Wood.
don't like it.
So this is coming from Dan Woke of the Los Angeles Times. This is the report. The Los Angeles Lakers are still interested in signing our man Christian Wood. Now let's get into the details of the report, which for Jackson over here, he's a big Lakers fan from what we found out. But the Lakers being interested still in signing Christian Wood, they have 2 roster spots open, but they would only like to fill one of those roster spots that bring 14 guaranteed rosters into training camp. However, the Lakers have only the veteran minimum offer available to offer Christian Wood in a deal. The Lakers believe that with his offensive contributions would offset his defensive liabilities and past maturity issues. In addition, Los Angeles has been looking to add one more big man to the front court mix. Wood played 67 games last year for the Dallas Mavericks, 50 of them as a backup. He averaged 16.6 points, 7.5 rebounds, 1.1 blocks while shooting 52% from the field, 38% from 3, and 77% from the field. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think he would fit nicely on the Lakers because there are a lot of players. It felt the Lakers were so good at blowing playoff leads. They were good at blowing leads in general last year. I think having a guy who can get buckets, sole job is to get buckets, I think would be beneficial for the Lakers. But there are some guys, it's tough because, you have Anthony Davis still, but there are so many new additions on this Lakers team. They now have Jackson Hayes. They now have Taurean Prince. Now they have Cam Reddish, I guess, for this specific position. It's more Jared Vanderbilt, Anthony Davis, Jackson Hayes, Rui Hachimura, Taurean Prince, whoever. I don't hate the idea. I don't think it's something the Lakers really need to do, but it is a guy who's been averaging double-digit points for a couple of seasons now, and I don't love his mentality. I don't love his mindset. I think he takes chip on the shoulder a little bit overblown. I think he's so in his head that everyone's writing him off and no one cares about him, that he wants to go and prove everybody, and sometimes he tries to do a little bit too much. But he can score. I think his defense is better than people give him credit for. I wouldn't call him a good defender, but I'm not gonna steer away from Christian Wood because of how bad his defense is. I just would put him on the bench. I think his ego is a reason why he is not on a roster right now, and
no, that makes sense.
Talent. But for the Lakers, they're so deep, man. They could use him. They could not use him.
So for me,
I think it'd be beneficial.
For me, when I look at Christian Wood, okay, this is a team that currently, if you look at the Lakers roster, Anthony Davis and Jackson Hayes are their pure centers. Jackson Hayes is more of like a lob threat, rim running, rebounding. Yeah, he can shoot threes, but he's kind of like low cost, high reward if it works out. Davis, we know what he is. Then you got Rui Hachimura, LeBron, Taurean Prince is your other guys who can play front court positions, and Jared Vanderbilt. So you look at Christian Wood. What I look at when I see Christian Wood is, I think this. Okay, like we said, average 16.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, a block a game. This is a guy who has insane offensive moves. Like, he has an arsenal of offensive moves. He can score on all 3 levels. He can shoot the 3 well for being 6'11". He's got a 7'3" wingspan. He can literally get to the bucket either off the dribble, shooting, cutting. He can run the pick and roll. He can do the pick and pop. And the thing is he likes having the ball. He's not the best off-ball guy. And supposedly he has, like we mentioned earlier, some maturity issues. And the thing is we all know the reputation he has as a stat patter on bad teams. But he's a good second chance points getter. He's shown he can defend bigs, but there's, the issue is when he gets switched onto the perimeter. And he shots blocks at a decent rate, but he's not much of a passer. So I understand that there's a lot of questions, but if you give him the minimum and you have a 3, your backup centers are Jackson Hayes and Christian Wood, I don't think that's that bad. And I think there's a lot worse situations you can put yourself in. I think Jackson Hayes and Christian Wood is a better backup rotation behind Anthony Davis than Thomas Bryant and Mo Bamba were last year, and Wayne Gabriel.
Yeah, and none of those players played in the playoffs, and I don't even think Christian Wood would be currently utilized on their playoff roster. But if you can mask his defense with Anthony Davis, and here's the thing: is one of the reasons Christian Wood is such a bad defender is because he plays the center position, and he's built like a twig. He's built like a piece of wood. I mean, look at him right now. This is your big man. This is your starting center built like a twig or a little branch. So if I can mask Anthony Davis, I've always viewed Christian Wood as a 4. I don't know why anybody ever thought this guy can or should be the 5. I would put him at 4, and I would play him with Anthony Davis. And I think to so many times in the playoffs where the Lakers needed buckets, specifically every game, like literally all 4 games against the Denver Nuggets, I believe they had some lead in the fourth quarter, and they can't buy a bucket. Well, Christian Wood's a guy who he will get you buckets. And man, with Harden, I don't remember his first game. Christian Wood's first game with the Rockets, he put up 30 with Harden in town. So their roster is so freaking deep. But yeah, I mean, might as well. I think about Jared Vanderbilt, and I'm like, there's nothing offensively there. So Christian Wood would be nice. But they still have Rui Hachimura and Taurean Prince and LeBron James for other 4-man depth. But yeah, I mean, Thomas Bryant, he had a run for a month. What's up, Aaron? And then, yeah, Mo Bamba he had a run for like a week, and then he got injured. But I'd say yes.
I just get worried that you're putting yourself with Christian Wood. I don't know. I just think he's the best backup right now. Big. There's nothing to lose, so just do it. Am I wrong for thinking that?
Yeah, it's just locker room concerns are a very big thing. Who these GMs want. I mean, it's who you are as a person is extremely important. And if you can't accept your role, which Christian Wood was not able to do with the Dallas Mavericks last season, or it seemed like he accepted it by the end of the year when he just kind of realized this is the way it is. I think Christian Wood needs to realize at this point, he's not a starter. No one's going to sign you to start on their team. So why not go to the Lakers, accept your role as a backup, and, maybe a team takes a flyer on you after you win a championship. Take that veteran minimum because it's August 7th and you don't have an NBA contract. So I would go win that championship, and I would establish yourself as at least a solid role player on a championship team. So, I mean, that's how you stay in the league. But yeah, man, I really think the worry is just locker room. I mean, I don't think it'll be a huge deal, but if he can't accept the bench role, then definitely don't pick him up.
I agree.